Hey everyone, I am High Voltage EV, and today I have a sweet video for you guys on some long distance sniping. Now for this video I'm going to talk a little bit about the loadout I am using, some good bolt action rifles to use for long distance sniping, tips for making those long distance kills, and a little bit about general sniping in Battlefield 3 and my thoughts for
Yeah.
Battlefield 4. So I'm on Gulf of Oman here in a full 64-man server, and first off, let me admit I know I'm doing a big no-no of sitting on the aircraft carrier and sniping like a fool. A lot of people don't like this. Most of the time people complain about it, especially if your team is losing, then of course you can expect that everyone is going to blame the sniper that's not helping the rest of his team cap objectives and so on. Of course, it's all the sniper's fault, but it's okay, it happens, whatever. Fortunately, this was a pretty well balanced match, and my sniping probably did not have any effect on the outcome of the game. Furthermore, I do not usually ever snipe like this or try to make long distance sniping videos because I just can take hours of recording just to get that one long distance headshot and it's not really worth it anyways. So sniping in Battlefield 3 is one of my favorite aspects of the game. I don't know what it is, there's just something about watching the bullet drop to an enemy's head and getting kills downrange that is just so satisfying. There are many ways to play the recon class tactically, whether you are using a sniper rifle or not. You can put down a tugs near an objective, lay a spawn beacon down behind people to tactically spawn in behind your enemy, follow your squad around with an MAV, so on and so forth. Now, I'm not saying that there is nothing tactical about sniping. A good sniper can keep enemies from capping an objective, pushing forward to an MCOM. You can see an example of that if you watch my video of testing the Corsair M65 mouse when I go on a nice little short spree of keeping the attackers from pushing forward and rush. But I'll be honest, there is absolutely nothing tactical about posting up on the aircraft carrier and sniping. I was really doing it just to have fun. Now, I had happened to see
Same
a
distance.
fellow community member playing on Gulf of Oman, so I joined up, and we turned out to be on opposite teams, so I said, what the heck, I'm just going to sit around, snipe, wait for the game to end, and
This one
hopefully get on
is
the same team. Well, as it turns out, I ended up killing a few people from the aircraft carrier prior to
anyway,
recording this
now
video, so
we'll
I said,
start
maybe I should have
with 20
recorded this.
damage.
So I hit the record button, I ended up having an awesome few
Damn
games, and I
voltage.
recorded lots of long distance headshots from the aircraft carrier. A few other community members ended up joining in on the fun, and we even had a little sniping battle, so it
Yeah,
all
it's
turned
like
out
a
to be a fun
completely
game.
closed
Fun
game so
few
far.
games.
I think
I even
so.
got accused of hacking by
Yeah.
two noobs who I sniped at over 1100 meters, and they just could not fathom the possibility of getting a headshot at more than 300 meters. This game has been out for almost 2 years now, and I guess some people still have not learned the game. But like I said, that there will always be people who want to complain when they are not having a good time, and people are just looking for somebody to blame for their loss. Anyways, I wanted to talk a little bit about the loadout I'm using. As you have noticed already, I'm using the Barrett Model 98 Bravo with a 12-time scope and bipod. The M98B is a bolt-action rifle made by Barrett, a manufacturer of firearms and rifles such as the Model 82A1 semi-auto 50 caliber rifle. Now, the M98B is chambered in a 338 Lapua Magnum, which is built purposely for precision long-distance sniping. The 338 is the largest round available for any gun in Battlefield 3 and is the most powerful at long range. The second largest round would be the 762 by 54, which is available in the SVD and SV98, and then most of the rest of the rifles are chambered in 762 by 51. Now, when it comes to Battlefield 3, the M98 Bravo is my favorite bolt-action rifle, but you will rarely see me using it because I just do not snipe long distance very much at all. It is also not a very versatile rifle. The mobility with this rifle is terrible. It's not good for running around and sniping people, which is another reason why I use the bipod and not the straight pole bolt with this rifle. Another reason I use the bipod is because I want to ensure precision accuracy on all my shots. Whenever I snipe other than long distance, I usually choose a gun such as the M48A5 or the JNG90 and equip it with a straight pole bolt so I can make quick follow-up shots if I have to. These guns also offer a lot of versatility for running around and sniping, as well as precision accuracy and power at short and long range. Now, in the case of very long distance sniping, I don't see any reason not to use the M98B over any other rifle due to the fact that the bullet drop is less for any other gun, and that it is chambered in a large and more powerful round at long distance. But if you do not have the M98B unlocked, then a good choice would be the L96, JNG90, or M48A5. I haven't used the SB98 much at all, so I can't give a good recommendation on it. But if I remember correctly, the bullet drop is just terrible for that gun. But I could be wrong. I just don't know much about that gun. Now, the 12 times scope is commonly known as a standard range finding scope, but don't let the words range finding confuse you. It does not actually have a range finder in it. I don't really know why it is called that other than to describe the type of reticles that you are seeing, which are meant for ranging in enemies. Now, the 8 times scope is commonly called a mil dot scope because each dot represents a mil. Mil is short for milliradian, which has to do with the degrees as a measure of angle. None of this really matters in Battlefield 3 because it's just a video game, but there is a case where I will explain where angle of elevation does come into play. Now, for very long distance sniping, like you see in this video, I just don't see why anyone would use anything other than the 12 times scope, unless they did not have it unlocked, of course. Maybe you just prefer the mil dot scope style over the range finding. Now, when you have a 12 times scope equipped on the M98B, the second reticle down from the center is roughly 1200 meters. I don't know exactly what it is. That's just an estimate. I didn't care to look it up or test what the exact range is. That's just my findings from playing the game. This range will also vary on the angle of elevation, like I briefly said. I made a couple of headshots that were just before the second reticle from the center at a distance of about 1100 plus meters, but that is because I'm shooting at an enemy that is at a higher elevation than me. All the shots I've made over 1200 meters were accomplished by aiming just under the second reticle from the center. So that's where I come to the rough estimate of 1200 meters. Another tip I want to throw in about maintaining good accuracy other than using the bipod would be to adjust the DPI settings of your mouse if you can, and or lower the in-game mouse sensitivity. When I'm not sniping, I usually play with a DPI of 1800 and set my in-game sensitivity to just before the halfway mark. I use the Corsair Vengeance M65 mouse, which has a sniping button on it. When you hold this button down, it will change the DPI to whatever you have it programmed to, which in my case is 800 DPI. I change my in-game sensitivity to about the quarter-way mark. This allows me to make very accurate shots. Now, when it comes down to making the headshots, there's nothing more I can tell you than practice makes perfect. My tip for sighting in your scope would be to aim at a flag in Conquest and just shoot at it and remain zoomed in while you watch the bullet drop. If the flag says you are 600 meters away, then keep shooting at it, testing different reticles to find where you are going to be accurate. Now, if you don't play Conquest or don't have flag at the distance you want to snipe at, then fire a few rounds at a wall or an object which is close to the enemies you will be firing at. Be careful though, because you will risk being discovered by trolls when you do this. Now lastly, I just want to make a few comments on my hopes for Battlefield 4. As many of you are probably aware, there will be a 50 caliber rifle in Battlefield 4. This is making a lot of people very angry because they think that it will be just way too overpowered and it's going to ruin the game. Now, I don't have all the facts about the 50 cal, but from what I understand, it will be a package that the commander can deploy or something like that he makes available to his team, his or her team. It will not be able to resupply the ammo, and some people even think that you will only be able to fire it from the prone position. I'm neither confirming or denying this. The truth is, we will not know more until the beta is released, if the 50 cal is even in the beta. I personally have nothing against having a 50 cal in the game. I really don't see how it's going to ruin the game. I'm sure that you're going to get a lot of people trying to run around in close quarters with it. I'm sure that you will also have people sitting on the furthest corner of the map trying to make headshots for their montage videos. Now, neither of those situations are really going to bother me. And I look forward to seeing how DICE has implemented a 50 cal gun in the game. I also hope that most of the sniping dynamics have stayed the same in regards to bullet drop and all that. Like I said, it's one of my favorite aspects of the game. Well, that pretty much wraps it up, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you want to see more, then please subscribe. If you like this video, then give it a thumbs up and share, and I'll see you guys on the battlefield.